Out of your spirit and join me in singing our opening hymn, Love Will Guide Us, number 131 in your gray hymnal.
Good morning, everyone. I cannot sing like an angel, but I can speak before thousands, so thank you for being here. My name is Terry Lucan, and I am a member of the Board of Trustees. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Hudson Valley. Whether you have been with this congregation a decade or more, or this is your first time visiting, we welcome you. Whatever your faith and traditions of your past, we welcome you. Whatever your theological stance, we welcome you. Whoever you are and whomever you love, we welcome you. Whatever your heritage, we welcome you. We respectfully acknowledge the territory on which our church building stands as the ancestral homelands of the Munsee, Lenape, and Wappinger people. Okay, now I do have a bunch of announcements. Apologies, they're a little long. If you're looking for an opportunity to connect on a deep spiritual level, there will be a drop-in community circle taking place in the sanctuary this morning at 11:30 until 12:30. This is an opportunity for anyone interested in checking out and seeing what community circles are like, as well as an opportunity for those whose schedules don't allow them to be in a regular community circle. The theme for this month is Cultivating Compassion. Betsy Tomick will be the facilitator. All are welcome. There will also be a clipboard available during coffee hour where existing community circle members and new people interested in joining may update their information regarding availability. Group meeting times may shift and new groups may form as people's schedules change over time, so please add your information to the list today. The boutique, spelled B-U-U-T-I-Q-U-E, will be open from 11 to 12 today. Items for sale are made and donated by our congregants, and all proceeds go to supporting our programs. On Saturday, November 8th at 5 o'clock, we will be hosting a screening of the film The Arrivals in the sanctuary. We are partnering with the Croton IDEA Committee, Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, and Accessibility, and after the film, there'll be a Q&A session facilitated by Reverend Daniel that will include the director of the film and representatives from Team TLC NYC, Neighbors Link, and Open Arms for Refugees, and a reception will follow. If you have any questions, Tina is right there. Finally, the last announcement is buying grocery cards is a great way to raise money for the congregation. They're available in $100 denominations from Stop and Shop, ShopRite, and Acme. Please see me after the service this Sunday or next if you'd like to order them, or you can email me. My email is in the newsletter. Last spring we made almost $700, but this fall orders are a little low, so please place your order now. We make $5 for each card, and of course you just pay face value. Pickup will be November 9th, and payment will be due then. So for the most up-to-date information on these and more topics, please refer to our weekly e-news or check our website, which looks fantastic, thanks to Eliana. And please join us for conversation after the service. If you are present in the sanctuary, please join us in the fellowship hall. And if you're watching on the live stream, the Zoom coffee hour can be found in the Saturday reminder in your email. And if you're just joining us and would like to receive our weekly e-news, please email us at uucroton@gmail.com or take one of the cards that are in the pew behind the pews and fill it out. Thank you, Bernie. And also please remember to silence your cell phone. Once again, we welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Hudson Valley.
It is so good to be together for worship again. It is so good to join you once again. Our invocation comes from the words of Ram Dass, who writes, "Acting with compassion is not doing good because we think we ought to. It is being drawn to action by heartfelt passion. It is giving ourselves into what we are doing, being present in the moment, no matter how difficult, sad, or even boring it feels, no matter how much it demands. It is acting from our deepest understanding of what life is, listening intently for the skillful means in each situation, and not compromising the truth. It is working with others in a selfless way, in a spirit of mutual respect. Compassion is the basis of all truthful relationships. It means being present with love for ourselves and for all life, including animals, fish, birds, and trees. Compassion is bringing our deepest truth into our actions, no matter how much the world seems to resist. because that is what we have to give ultimately to this world and one another. Welcome to worship this morning. I now invite our children and youth to join Kyla and Annabelle in ringing our bell to proclaim our values to this world.
Our chalice lighting words come today from Marta Valentin. We pause this morning from the chaos of the world to reclaim the beauty within these walls that carry us through our week. We lift this community with our shoulders, onto our shoulders, with pride and grace-filled expectation for our children and our children's children. Now please join me in saying our unison affirmation. The words are in your order of service. Inspired by love, our mission is to seek our true nature, connect deeply and openly, and act for justice.
I get to be mobile now. This is fun. So this month, we have been cultivating compassion in our worship. So hopefully we have come to understand compassion is how we try to feel other people's feelings and express kindness to them based on that, right? Compassion literally comes from the root meaning to share the pain of another person. So I want to have a little conversation about when it's difficult to do that. When do you find it difficult to feel compassion for someone else? Anyone, or is it just super easy all the time? Francis?
When you want to succeed, like when you're trying to curb your own drive.
Oh, so like when you are like, you have a goal and you want to succeed at all costs and
Fighting against the tunnel vision.
fighting against your tunnel vision. Thank you.
When you're in disagreement.
When you're in disagreement with them. And the harder that disagreement is, the harder it is maybe. Yeah.
You feel that you've been double-crossed.
When you feel like you've been double-crossed. So like when you don't trust the other person maybe.
When I'm struggling myself with emotions.
When you're struggling with your own emotions, when you haven't figured out all of what's going on inside of you, it's hard to connect with someone else.
When they're extremely annoying.
When they're extremely annoying. Yeah, anyone have that, ever have that?
When they're aggressive.
When they're aggressive, so when someone is like coming at you,
Something along those lines. When they're full of hate.
when they're full of hate. Yeah,
When someone refuses to forgive and move on, that's the situation.
so when someone else is not moving on and forgiving.
When they hurt you or someone you love.
Yeah, when they hurt you or someone you love. Yeah, and it becomes really hard, right? So how do we, in those moments, right, when someone is like on the scale from really annoying to actually hurtful, right? Because there are people in this world who are hurting people that we love. There are people in this world who are hurting us. How do we find the spiritual strength to cultivate compassion in those moments? Have empathy. Yeah, and understand that empathy, right, Like trying to understand someone else is a good thing, right? Yeah, that's one of the things I'm going to be talking about in a few minutes while you're in RE.
Sometimes it helps for me to just call on just some lighter power that I know exists.
So like understand yourself to be connected to something greater than yourself. I know that's not exactly what you said, but I'm gonna translate that into something that maybe everyone can feel.
When I can recognize that sitting with anger or these negative feelings isn't helping me or it's bad for me personally.
So when you understand that your own anger is not helping you, you begin to like crack it open.
When I choose gratitude.
Choosing gratitude, right? So looking for the things in your life that you're thankful for.
Along the lines about kind of connecting to a higher power, it's also realizing the other person is connected somehow too.
So not only do we realize that we are connected to a higher power or something greater, but so is the other person. Yeah, and that we are connected to them through that, whether we like it or not, right?
When remembering that somebody who's inflicting pain is in deep pain themselves.
And often, yeah, people who are inflicting pain are in deep pain themselves, which doesn't excuse the pain that they're inflicting, but it does help us feel compassion in that moment. Thank you. We're going to be working more on cultivating compassion today, and as we do that, we're going to sing our children to RE. It's hymn number 413, Go Now in Peace.
We come together in community to share with one another, to support one another, and to celebrate one another. We bear sacred witness to each other in this honored ritual. As we begin, we know that there are both great sorrows and great joys in our world that must be acknowledged as well. We light our first candle to honor those in pain, victims of violence and war and oppression all around our world. We light a second candle because we understand that amidst all that pain, there's also celebration and joy in our world. We honor that joy and sorrow are woven together. For some of us here today, this has been a week of life-changing joy that needs to be lifted up in this worship. For others, this has been a time of deep pain and sorrow that needs to be shared to make the burden lighter. If this has been such a time for you, I invite you to come forward to light a candle and to briefly tell us of your joy and sorrow. You may also raise your hand in silent acknowledgement of your joys and sorrows, and we will light a candle for you. Please do remember that your joys and sorrows are being shared on the live stream and the broader virtual community.
Good morning. I am Bob, and I hope you recognize the orange bags out by the street. Yesterday we had our first cleanup in about 6 months, and we cleaned a piece of the highway from the restaurant over Yucca, or whatever it's called, by Furnastock Road, all the way up to the eastern road that goes into the station. It's about a mile. And we had a couple new people join us who had never done it before. And I'll go through this list very quickly. We had 10 bags that we picked up, and we've done worse, and we've done some better. So I'd encourage you in the future to get involved. The people that worked yesterday with us for 2 hours were Sherry Brown, Betsy Tomick, Chris Oliver, Reverend Daniel, which is a very nice surprise, Bernie Croft, and me. That's about it. I hope to see you in maybe in the end of November. Don't worry about the weather. It warmed up nice yesterday afternoon. We were here from 11 to 1, so we'll be out again. And Reverend Daniel said he's going to push you. So he enjoyed the activity yesterday, and it was a surprise to have a text from him, and it was great to have him out there. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Gunnell, and I want to light a candle of joy mixed with anxiety for my younger sister, Inga, who had a massive stroke 2 weeks ago, was put in hospice without any hydration, and we were, for a week plus, we were expecting that she would be dead within the next few days or within the week. Now, last weekend, she woke up all of a sudden, started talking, and over a 2-day period, made enough sense that she persuaded the doctors that she was, in fact, determined to live, and she is now on full life support and out of hospice. And my other 2 sisters, who also live in Sweden, of course, have been there spending a lot of time with her and saying that she now, yesterday, really was talking and really had her personality back. So this is wonderful. But of course, the doctors are saying they don't know what's going to happen next. Could be anything. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Megan. So this is probably the first time Chris or I is able to talk about this in like a month without getting very emotional about it, but I would like to light a candle for our kitty, who we had to say goodbye to on October 1st. He was 20 years old. He'd been with us for 17 years, so he saw most of our adult life, and we loved him very much.
What's his name again?
Chairman.
Candle of sorrow for a coworker of mine whose son just got indicted 24 years for murder.
So this past week, I went up to Cape Cod, where I have lots of family who all live on one street. It was an ex-dairy farm, so everyone's built houses there. And there's been a cousin who we kind of never socialized with much, but I saw her this week, and we became besties, and I'm just so happy to have like a new family member, female, in my life. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sherry. It's good to be back. When my 97-year-old mom died in February, my sisters and I knew that one of her wishes was to have part of her ashes spread in Seaside, Oregon, where my sister has lived for a long time, and where my brother's ashes 17 years ago were also spread. So 30 members of the family gathered from all over the country, and we were there 2 weekends ago. But one of the beautiful things that happened out of this, Gary has a daughter who has a son now. Gary never met the son because he died long before Remy was born. And when Remy found out that we're going to spread mom's ashes, and he knew his mom still had some of her dad's ashes, he said, "Mom, how about if we take some of Gary, your dad's ashes, and spread them so they can be together?" And that's what happened. It was just, he's 6 years old. It was just such a beautiful event.
Hi, my name is Elliot, and I'd just like to share joy. I just wanted to thank Jane and the youth leaders and Cherry and Betsy and the adults that volunteered to host a party last night for the children of this congregation. It allowed Emily and I to build community, and when we got home, as we pulled into the driveway, Sebastian said, "Oh, I wish I was still at the church. I wish I was still at the party." He had so much fun, so thank you. Thank you.
We light one final candle for all the joys and sorrows that are held in the sanctuary of our hearts. And we light one final candle for those who are still looking for a place to share the joys and sorrows of their lives.
Please join me now in a moment of centering. Feel your body in the pew, however it is that you are most comfortable. Feel the weight of your feet on the ground. Feel your breath moving in and out. Spirit of life and love, God of many names and beyond all naming, we gather together in gratitude. Gratitude for the ability to be in community with one another. Gratitude for the ability to witness great joys of connection, of healing, of newness in each other's lives. Gratitude for the ability to be with one another and to bear sacred witness to the sorrows in our lives as well. The scariness, the uncertainty, the grief. And we know that love that we cultivate makes a difference. And so let us breathe together and understand that we are connected to one another in love. And for those who have come here bearing sorrow, with heaviness on their hearts, with grief and sadness and uncertainty weighing on them, let them feel the love that is being created in this room. May you feel that love. May you know in this time of hardness that you are not alone. And may the love that we create inside these walls spread out into our community until all in our world know that they are loved. In your many holy names we pray. Amen. I invite you into a moment of silence.
Our reading today is an excerpt by Jennifer Zaley called How Empathy Became a Threat. There's an arresting quotation that resurfaces online now and again, usually accompanied by a photograph of a dark-haired woman with an intense gaze. The death of human empathy is one of the earliest and most telling signs that a culture is about to fall into barbarism. It's followed by the name of the woman in the picture, the political philosopher Hannah Arendt, who fled the barbarism of Nazi Germany. Only there's no record of Arendt ever saying that or anything like it. The bogus quotation is the kind of artifact that flourishes on the internet in bewildering times, plausible sounding and politically ominous. It happens to dovetail with a liberal argument that has flourished in the age of Trump, that the MAGA movement is actively promoting callousness and cruelty. Trump's critics say supporting examples aren't hard to come by. The gutting of life-saving aid to the poor and the sick, the violent crackdown on immigrants, the gleefully sadistic memes. The implication is that one side is committed to empathy while the other is not. This would sound like a bit of self-serving liberal propaganda if it weren't for the fact that a number of prominent figures on the right seem to agree. In February, when Elon Musk went on Joe Rogan's podcast, Musk derided Democrats for succumbing to suicidal empathy. Caring about others, the men agreed, had gotten so out of control that it was becoming self-destructive. The fundamental weakness of Western civilization is empathy, Musk said. They're exploiting a bug in Western civilization, which is the empathy response. Musk likes to refer to other humans as NPCs, or non-player characters. Such contempt for fellow feeling seems to be gaining ground. The Times opinion columnist David French has noted how empathy for others, seemingly inextricable from loving thy neighbor as thyself, has come under direct attack by some right-wing Christians. Last year, the Christian podcaster Allie Beth Stuckey published Toxic Empathy, which hit the bestseller list. More recently, the pastor Joe Rigney published The Sin of Empathy. Both books depict calls for empathy as the work of manipulative progressives trying to inveigle Christians into supporting progressive policies. It's one thing to think of empathy as a limited emotion. It's quite another to suggest that it's dangerous. In their books, Stuckey and Rigney start out insisting that they're not trying to stamp out empathy per se. They oppose only toxic or untethered versions, which trick Christians into tolerating abortion access and gay marriage. Giving the example of a 12-year-old raped by her stepfather, Rigney says that granting her request for an abortion is an example of the empathic myopia that fuels the culture of death. Stuckey says that as much as she feels sorry for the undocumented Mexican mother detained by ICE after 14 years in the United States, Scripture depicts walls, both literally and metaphorically, as a defense against disorder and evil. Like you, I want to be kind, Stuckey writes, and any accusation that I may lack empathy hurts. Could this be a plea for empathy? But she says that being a loving Christian sometimes requires supporting policies that will cause others to suffer. To love means to want what is best for a person as God defines best. Rigney, too, knows what God wants, even if progressives try to bully him with emotional blackmail. Compassion is willing to be called heartless in its pursuit of the true and lasting good of the afflicted. By the end of their books, both authors suggest that empathy as it exists is the work of the devil and his minions. Now, please rise in body or spirit for our hymn, Spirit of Life, number 123, in your great hymnal.
Thank you. Central to my faith are the practices of love, compassion, and empathy. I am called every day to understand how my actions affect people around me and to integrate into my life a radical kind of love that connects me to all other living beings. I am called every day to make myself accountable to those connections, to the interdependence I understand to be fundamental to life. Apparently, empathy and compassion are sins now, though. Too much empathy is bad for systems of power that depend on treating other people with disdain and judgment. And so those who seek to perpetuate those systems have made it demonic. It is not the usual state of affairs for a pastor to stand in a pulpit and ask people to engage in sins. Well, beloved, if empathy and compassion are sins, I hope you will join me and sin boldly, loudly, and repeatedly. I hope you will sin the sins of empathy and compassion without remorse or guilt. I hope you will sin yourself right into real relationship with the most vulnerable people with whom we share this fragile planet. If empathy and compassion are sins, they are certainly a few of my favorites, and I endorse them heartily. Apparently, political philosopher Hannah Arendt never said or wrote, "The death of human empathy is one of the earliest and most telling signs that a culture is about to fall into barbarism." And while it would have been nice to attribute that quote to Arendt, Holocaust survivor and expert on fascism and authoritarianism, someone wrote it. Someone, we don't know who, thought it was an important enough idea to put out into the world attached to her name. Kind of like half the books in the Christian scriptures attributed to Paul were written by other people and put out there under his name. And while we don't know who it was who said that, I believe it's true. The death of human empathy is a warning sign for a society in danger. Embracing the toxic theology, and yes, I will call it that, toxic theology, that compassion and empathy are sinful, should be a warning for all religious people of integrity who believe in a more just society, a more equitable society, a more compassionate society. And if we need religious authority to back this up, we can look no further than the Dalai Lama, leader of Tibetan Buddhism, who has actually said, "Love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive." The call to cultivate compassion and empathy comes from within our own Unitarian Universalist religious tradition as well. Our Universalist heritage calls us to compassion. The promise of universal salvation at its most basic is that all of us are going to end up in the same place when we die. And now we can disagree about what that place is, but all of us are going there, according to the Universalists. I don't think of heaven as a realm for the soul that is outside of what we know. I think of it as right here, in the midst of the one that we do. Your being, mine, and everyone's are all part of one interdependent, interconnected, closed system. I am regularly stopped in my tracks by the unfathomable beauty of this notion that each of us is inextricably bound to one another. The promise of our connectedness requires us to realize our unity with all of creation. In his 1945 work, A Religion for Greatness, Universalist minister and theologian Clarence Skinner emphasized our religious call to work toward the unity of all beings, which he defined as, quote, the coherence of what may seem to be separate into a oneness. Unity, he wrote, means an operative harmony, a functional relationship which belongs to all the parts of the whole. Relationship, connectedness. That's what Clarence Skinner's universalism was about. Later in that work, Skinner also wrote, the great religious experience of the unities and universals, however, tends to direct humanity outward toward what is greater than the individual human. Clarence Skinner pushed us to expand the notion of universalism that his spiritual ancestors and ours had developed. He called us to what he called a cosmic mindset, in which we realized our connection with, and indeed our unity with, everything that is, everything that has been, and everything that ever will be. We are one with the stars, with the planets, with the oceans and mountains and ice caps, with the forests and the deserts and the fauna running through them. We are also one with one another. This unity of existence has profound implications for how we live. This unity of existence calls us to suffer with those who suffer, because we are they, and they are we. This unity of existence calls us to practice compassion. Our faith teaches us we must. Clarence Skinner also challenged Universalists not to stop with love. He wrote, love, service, unselfish devotion to the common good are all in line with the expansive experience, but they are definitely limited in scope. Empathy and compassion bring us beyond love. They ask us to make real connections with another, to try our best to feel what they are feeling. They ask us to feel the suffering of another. And this, my beloveds, is where they become dangerous. People whose political agenda includes restricting bodily autonomy, they can't win their agenda if enough people practice empathy and compassion for the people whose bodies are under attack. Whether we're talking about reproductive freedom, healthcare inequity, marriage equality, the rights of transgender people to live openly as who they are, the ways in which we treat people who are incarcerated and enslaved in our society, or even the responsibilities of a free and democratic society to immigrants and refugees. Trying to understand the suffering of the most vulnerable in our midst necessarily leads any of us with a conscience to want to alleviate that suffering. And sadly, that is politically controversial these days. And when that political ideology includes within it a twisted, toxic theology, that theology must be questioned by anyone practicing empathy and compassion. My friends, that theology falls right apart under even the smallest amount of examination. Just the smallest amount of examination will lead us to quickly learn that it is impossible to non-hypocritically believe in an all-loving God who created all of humanity in his image, and also one who believes that certain people are worth less than others. It just doesn't work. It can't work. It is impossible to embrace with integrity a theology that wants policies to be based in the Christian Bible and also advocate for the expulsion of refugees and immigrants. Folks, the Christian Bible is not clear about a whole lot of things. It is internally contradictory all over the place, and one thing that it is abundantly clear on is how we are called to treat immigrants and refugees in our midst. It's abundantly clear. And so the people who are benefiting from espousing those toxic theologies need to push people away from empathy and compassion in order to keep them following the garbage that they're spewing. It's garbage, my friends. It's toxic, awful, harmful theology. It strays from the teachings of every single religious leader and prophet throughout human history who has taught the ways of love. Every one, it strays from all of them. But you know what doesn't? Embracing empathy, cultivating compassion. And so we are called to do those things. We are called to name them not as sins, but as essential virtues in this world that we want to build together. We are called to practice them with all our hearts, openly and unabashedly into our world. May we practice compassion and empathy without ceasing. May it be so. Would you sing with me? I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join me in hymn number 1002 in the Teal hymnal, Comfort Me. We're going to sing all 5 verses, just so you know, because we need a little comfort. We need a little compassion.
Each week, we make an offering from the bounty we are blessed to enjoy. We do this in the spirit of love and generosity, aware that we have benefited from those who have gone before, those who in their turn gave generously. Our offering goes to support the work of love and justice undertaken by this community. Today's offering will be shared with the Loft. I'm reminded of the words of our friend Al Raymond, a longtime supporter of the Loft, who would typically note that in this year, it is the 14th consecutive year UUCHV has supported the Loft. And then he would point out, notice that I said consecutive and not straight. Yeah. So thank you, Al, for all your testifying. You can make your donation in several ways. If present in the sanctuary, you may give cash or a check in the offering plate as it comes by. From your homes, you can make your donation via credit card or PayPal using the links provided in the e-news or by visiting our website, uuchudsonvalley.org. Or if you prefer, you may always give us a check. The offering will now be given and gratefully received. Please join me in the dedication of the offering. May these gifts and the work of our hands and hearts give power to all we stand for as a community of faith. Now please join me in the extinguishing of the chalice. The words are in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Our words of benediction come from my colleague, the Reverend Darcy Roque. There is too much hardship in this world to not find joy every day. There is too much injustice in this world to not right the balance every day. There is too much pain in this world to not heal every day. Each of us ministers to a weary world. Let us go forth now and do that which calls us to make this world more loving, more compassionate, and more filled with the grace of the divine presence every day.